Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge sharing community. We have one such industry giant on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Mr. Milind Shauche. He is an industry-honed leader with a remarkable track record of overseeing complex projects and programs. With a career spanning over 3 decades, he has consistently demonstrated exceptional leadership and problem-solving skills, making him a standout figure in the fields of IT and project management. He always works on difficult and complex projects. His core skills are to simplify difficult and complex projects, which can then be handed over to others for managing in a steady state. His current role as a program manager involves leading service delivery for prestigious clients in the US. He has led technical teams to file patents. He has led teams as large as 1,800 people. He was managing the internet for the entire country when it was first launched in India. He has led teams to automate India's first container terminal. He has made a large contribution to build cloud skills in India. In his spare time and over weekends, he has led several social empowerment initiatives for the disenfranchised communities, changing their lives forever. In terms of philanthropic activities, during the COVID-19 pandemic, he worked selflessly to save the lives of people needing help. In terms of his hobbies, in his leisure time, he likes to click photographs, go for long drives, and trek the peaks of Himalayas. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders. We appreciate your willingness to share your knowledge and engage in this conversation.
Thank you very much, Saniji, for this profound introduction. But I'm sure there is some divine force behind me which is forcing me to do all this. So I don't take credit for this. It is something that is just happening with me. Thank you very much for that introduction.
So, Mr. Milind, could you let our viewers know in brief about your career journey with important achievements and the roles and functions you handle?
Sure, I would love to. I would compare my career journey to a small boat in the middle of a storm. Just like the boat gets drifted in the storm, and with great difficulty, the small boat can overcome the impact of a storm to find the shore. My career is the same. It was not at all planned. It got drifted from time to time. But because of some divine force that is blessing me, the drift has always been towards better. I come from a very humble background. My birthplace is a small village called Trambakeshwar near Nasik in the Maharashtra state of India. I passed my engineering from KJ Somaya College of Engineering in 1990. I got a first class with honors in my engineering. And because of that, I was selected in the PCS organization through campus placements. It was rare to get placed in campus placements there, though now it is a common thing to happen. Because of my track record in PCS, I got chosen to work in the Gulf because of my proficiency of installing the Unix systems, which was pretty new then. From there, I went on to join Digital Equipment Corporation, again, because of the Unix skills that I had. At that time, I managed the entire internet for the whole of India. In fact, I was the one who installed internet services for MTNL when it came out with the internet services for the first time. And on similar lines, I installed the internet services from Satyam Infoway when they came up with internet services. Subsequently, I was offered a job, a completely different job and role in India's first container terminal in JNPT. And I led teams to automate the entire container operations in the terminal to an extent that our productivity was at least 10 times better than our nearest competitor. Thereon, I joined Sun Microsystems, again joining a completely different industry, the telecom industry. And I was contributing towards the first disruption that happened when Reliance Communication entered the telecom sector. Subsequently, I joined IBM, and for last 18 and a half years, I've been working with IBM. Um, Over there, I was working for one of the largest telecom customer for IBM, and I was given multiple opportunities to contribute to the betterment of this world. I led large teams. At the peak, my team size was about 2,000 resources. I led teams to file patents and research papers, and some of the patents I'm sure you would be using in your day-to-day life. I led various skill building initiatives for India, and I was one of the first few who built these SAP and the cloud skills in India. Overall, to answer in short, taking into consideration the humble background that I came from, the kind of opportunities that were thrown to me, and the kind of challenges that came in my way, I've had a very, very fulfilling career, more than what I had dreamt.
Okay, Mr. Milind. So thank you for the excellent start to this interview. It's an honor to interact with someone who exudes such a strong corporate personality. So continuing our conversation, we would like to know which of your job roles do you find the most challenging and how do you overcome challenges?
Good question, but a difficult one for me to answer because I have always taken up challenges which were larger than the previous one. So let me just think. Okay, I would like to pick up the challenge of the data center migration project, which was again thrown to me way back in 2005, 2006. And I'm picking up this challenge because it was really a very, very time bound, a very, very stringent timeline, very, very critical and crucial project for this customer of mine, a telecom customer. We had to migrate more than 2,500 servers, and those days the servers were very huge in size, very heavy in weight, and very difficult to move. The overall equipments that we migrated were equivalent to 600 truckloads worth of servers, storage devices, network devices, firewalls, and whatnot. I had a team of about 120 people under me at that time, and this was the steady state team. And I had to use the same people. I had to lean on the same people to migrate these servers into a new data center. So it was a consolidation of multiple data centers into one. It was a physical migration of all these servers into one single data center. And all this had to be done without missing any billing cycle, without missing any storage device, without any downtime that could affect the user. So it was very, very strict terms, I would say. All this was done in over 13 weekends. So every weekend we would migrate a bunch of servers, bunch of applications, storage devices, network devices. And over the week, we used to plan of how we would migrate the next wave. So we had 13 waves spanning over 13 weeks. The entire team worked for on an average 20 hours a day without any holiday, of course, because over the weekend we were actually migrating servers from one place to another. So the team had to dismantle servers from one data center. We had to move the servers physically and at times across 2 or 3 states. And at that time, we had the challenges of octroi and sales tax and whatnot. So there were a lot of physical challenges too. And but finally, we migrated without losing any billing cycle, without missing any data storage, and bringing up the servers as they were in the destination data center. So this actually was a huge project. I mean, the quantum of work was too much, and I had to even plan for food for the team during the work hours, because they used to work continuously for more than 20-24 hours at a stretch, especially during the weekend. So it was a very, very intriguing project, a very, very challenging project, and I really I'm very proud that I led this project, because this was the largest data center migration project in the world at that time. So that was the most challenging project for me, which I have overseen or I have led in the past. So thank you for asking that question, Saniji.
Exceptional, Mr. Milind, truly exceptional. So this leads me to our next question. What are some principles you live by in your professional life?
Yeah, this question is very simple, I would say, and very easy to answer, because the principle is simple and it is derived from our own Gita, and which says karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, which means that you don't work for the results, you don't work for the fruit, you enjoy the journey, and you make sure that you perform all the work that you have to do with the sense of duty. And only when you perform the activities in this way, success is guaranteed. And I strongly believe in it. And that's why I sincerely and honestly put in my best efforts without worrying about what the result would be. And even if the result is negative, even if the result is a failure, it gives me tremendous amount of learning, tremendous amount of experience, which obviously is a stepping stone for my future success. So I would strongly believe everyone to follow this principle in their life, and you will find that success will follow you. So that's my simple principle for professional life.
Amazing, amazing. So now that we have discussed your career journey, your professional pursuits, roles, and responsibilities, let's move on to the next subject, which is on corporate governance and ESG. So here is my question to you. What made you broaden your work purview into ESG and corporate governance?
Okay, the part of the answer is in the previous answer that I gave. So, as I said, I always love helping others. I always like to help others. I always want to see others being successful more than me being successful. Because if my team is successful, if my direct reportees are successful, I don't have to work extra for my own success. Ultimately, it is team success that is important. So one day when I came across the YouTube video of Hevalji on the independent director program, it actually triggered this thought in my mind that this is an excellent opportunity. At the stage of career that I am in, I have a few years of constructive work left before retirement. And I was actually thinking, what should I do post retirement? How can my life be more constructive in the retirement period also? So this video actually helped me to come to a decision that I can still extend my retirement by 10 more years. And the best part is by giving back to the society. So ESG and corporate governance, becoming an independent director, I think is an opportunity for me to share my experience, to give back to the society which has given me so much more than what I had dreamt. So that is why I want to pursue the same, and that is why I think ESG and corporate governance is something that I will be able to help the entire society or the organization that I would work for.
Okay, Mr. Milind. So before we conclude our discussion on this subject, I would like to ask you, as an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
Okay, again, very simple and a short answer for this one. Being selfless, egoless, and fearless. I mean, this is what has helped me all through my life. The moment you are selfless, the moment you are egoless, You have vast opportunities. You don't have to think about what is it in for me, how will I do it, what can I do. The moment you drop that I from your day-to-day stuff, it actually opens up a lot of opportunities. It actually helps you do many things. And this is what our culture has taught us. This is what I have learned from my parents and grandparents. And this is what has helped them being successful in their life. Of course, the definition of success is different for different people. But for me, success is something where the entire team, where the entire society, where the entire community gets benefited. That is what is success to me, unlike what is success for me as an individual. The moment I see my team being successful, the moment one of my direct reportees come to me and say that he has filed a patent, I am more happy than the individual. So these are the values. Being selfless, egoless, fearless is what each one of us have to imbibe so that the entire society becomes successful and the entire world becomes a beautiful place to live. So that is my simple answer to your question, Saniji.
Incredible, Mr. Milind. Okay, so let's move ahead and let's talk something about technology since you belong to that space, that
Sure.
landscape. And since technology has become an integral part of our lives. So here is my question to you. What are some of the most remarkable changes you have seen in your field with changes in technology? That is part A. And part B is what changes to expect to see with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, Web 3.0, big data, etc.
Excellent question. And I would love to answer this question because over the last 30 years, I have seen a huge change on the technology front. In fact, I do take multiple sessions every weekend for the youth of how to build their careers in this disruptive world where technology disrupts you every few years. It used to be 10 years previously. Now, probably every year, technology is disrupting our lives. So, when I started, I actually was a hardware engineer, repairing servers, repairing boards, repairing devices. You won't believe in my school days, I used to repair radios and television sets. Of course, now radio set is not available. Even if you want to buy a radio set, difficult to get one because it has become integrated in so many other devices. But I loved repairing the devices. And had I stayed with that technology, had I remained a radio, transistor, or television repair technician, I would be on some signal somewhere on a crossroad begging with a bowl of steel. But now the technology has changed so much. You have to keep pace with the changes that are happening. You have to adopt the new changes that are coming. I used to work on computers which used to get booted using floppy drives. This is no longer the case. Devices have changed. Our largest hard disk that I had installed was 4 GB hard disk, and I started with 20 MB hard drives. Now you get terabytes worth of pen drives, and there is no knowledge or technology or experience required to use that. So that's how technology has changed all through the 30 years that I have seen. So you have to adopt those changes. Now, looking at the new technologies, IoT, AI, ML, all those that you have mentioned, let me answer this question with a small story. Let us imagine that I have to catch a flight early in the morning to present a very important and critical presentation to one of my customers. Let's imagine we are in 2035, so about 10 years hence. My flight is at 6:30 in the morning, and I need to leave by about 4:30 in the morning so that I'm able to board the flight in time. So in order to make sure that I get into the flight, I go to sleep early at 9:30 p.m. the previous day, and I set my alarm accordingly. So as I'm taking rest and in my deep sleep, my flight gets delayed by 1 hour. I get an email and a message from the airline that there is a delay, and my flight would actually be flying instead of 6:30 at 7:30. Now this message reaches my alarm clock. it delays my alarm by an hour. My cab to the airport is rescheduled accordingly automatically. My cab from the airport, or in fact, my customer has sent me a self-driven car that gets rescheduled and that gets delayed by 1 hour. The customer meeting gets scheduled 1 hour later. The rescheduled meeting invite is sent to all the participants. And all this happens even before I come to know that the flight is delayed by an hour when I get up. So these are the changes that you would see happening in your life in the next few years. Various jobs, lawyer's job are going to be taken over by bots. The jobs of doctors or the medical practitioners, at least the junior ones, will be taken over by medical bots. Many jobs which are mundane, which can be automated, and now we have chat GPT and whatnot, AI bots that are available, which can take away jobs of many people. And this is the change that is happening. So every single individual, and I read somewhere that more than 40% of jobs will become redundant in the next 10 years. So 40% workforce is going to lose jobs. So they have to become aware of these changes that are happening. They have to adopt newer technologies that are coming in so that they stay relevant. So that's my short answer to your question on the changes that new technologies are bringing in to our lives as we progress, as we see those changes coming.
Mr. Milind, that was really insightful of you. Exceptional. And this brings us to the last question of the session. So here it is. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the whole team of World Development Corporation?
I think this is a very, very divine work that Independent Director Institute is doing. And I am very happy that I would be part of it very soon. This vision of Hevalji and Zisanji, I think, is very, very important. And very few people have such kind of vision. Very few people are able to materialize or gather a group of people working towards this vision. So this, I would say, is a very good deed on part of Hevalji and Jishanji. And I think this is very, very relevant. This is needed because the kind of growth that we are seeing, especially in India, the number of unicorns, the number of startups that are happening, the ecology that India, our country, is building to make these entrepreneurs successful, to make these startups successful, is also amazing. So everything is happening at the same time, I would say, or one thing is helping the other. This is how it is happening. And Hevalji's initiative, Zishanji's initiative to start this knowledge sharing community is the best thing to happen. This will help the entire country, especially bringing in the people who are close to their retirement, who have wealth of knowledge, but they don't know what to do going forward because they would be retired from the corporate life. But this initiative of knowledge sharing is bringing a huge workforce with wealth of knowledge back into the corporate sector so that this knowledge gets utilized constructively, this knowledge gets utilized purposefully, and help the individuals, help the younger generation be successful in a shorter amount of time. I think this is the best thing I have seen so far in my life. So I would fully support them in whichever way I can and help them be successful in this initiative. Thank you very much, Sunny.
Great. Mr. Milind, it was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you for joining us today. Wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Thank you very much, Saniji, for this opportunity where I could share my knowledge with others. If it is helping someone, I'll be more than happy. And if there is any other opportunity of any other way I could help anyone, do let me know. I will come forward unconditionally and I will be more than happy to help them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you. Bye.